Weencast, a Ween podcast with Shane and Rory.
Hey all you Ween heads, this is Rory from Weencast. Welcome. We have for you a sneak peek of the Claude Coleman interview part 2. Part 2 is only available on Patreon, so you should go to Patreon/weencastpodcast and check it out. But to tantalize you, here is a little bit of a sneak peek. What we have here is Claude telling an absolutely awesome story about how he came to get to know Mickey and Aaron because he was working with Andrew Weiss when he was in the band Skunk, and Andrew Weiss was also working with Ween in the late 80s, around 1990. And so he, so I hope you enjoy that. And there's a whole bunch more that you'll find on Patreon from Claude. We also have plenty of other exclusive material on there as well. So go ahead and check it out. But in the meantime, here's a little bit of a sneak peek. Enjoy.
And our producer was Andrew Weiss. He was producing our demos and kind of looking after us as a dad of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how we came to know Ween, because Andrew had this sort of ad hoc home label called Bird of Prey, and he was putting out all the early Ween tapes. The crucial squeegee tape.
Mm-hmm.
Squeegee wedgie.
We know what you mean. Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, man. I'm drawing a blank, and don't hurt me for that. It's been some time. But yeah, he was producing all these early Ween tapes, and he was also producing Skunk. So we just busted our asses, and then we got a manager, a woman named Janet Billig, who started managing us, and she thought we were the shit. And the band was just like this super, super, super heavy prog pop rock. And after us, Janet went on to, great acclaim and success. She literally brought Nirvana, did Beastie Boys, did the Breeders, did Hole. She was at the forefront. She just had this mind that was just kind of intense. I remember for one of the early Lollapaloozas, she was the second or the third one, and it was all her bands were on the main stage. But and then she did Smashing Pumpkins. But so Skunk was her early kind of project band before she became that, and just started doing that amazing work. And so Andrew was producing us, Janet was managing us, and then they got us a deal on Twin Tone Records, and which was a funny story in and of itself, because our bass player was 17 and lived with his parents, and our A&R guy came out and flew out from Minneapolis, and they pretty much told us they were going to sign us. So it was kind of a done deal, but he wanted to see the band. He wanted to kind of see and hear it live, so he flew out, and we literally played a showcase show in our bass player's parents' basement with just us and our A&R guy. And by that point, Andrew had introduced us and kind of connected us with Mickey and Aaron and Ween. And we had done 1 or 2 shows City Gardens in New Jersey and Court Tavern in New Jersey. These were all kind of legendary local spots. So we were kind of friends with them. And so we were you guys should open for us. Our A&R guy is coming out to sign us and stuff. And you guys should be our openers in our bass player's basement. So we played the show, and we had Mickey and Aaron, and they did their classic Ween, 2 guys with the DAT tape set for a man named Dave Ayers, who sat across the room, and then Skunk played. And after that, they kind of came outside, and he signed those guys almost literally on the spot. You guys are awesome. This thing is awesome. I want Ween. And so Skunk and Ween kind of got their record deals about the same time.
Wow.
And then so Skunk, we did 2 records. We did 2 records. We had like a 3-record deal, but we kind of just kind of shat on that and just kind of did 2 records and then cut out a Dodge. And after the second record, we did a lot of touring, did a lot of shows in Minneapolis. Skunk, I'm talking about, did a long tour in Europe with a group called Babes of Toyland.
Okay.
You might know about, and that, which was another interesting thing too, because Kat, the singer in that band, was the kind of like style archetype for Courtney Hole, because Courtney Love from Hole, Courtney Hole.
We know who you mean.
But Courtney Love moved to Minneapolis, and then she totally adopted Kat, whole front person thing, the schoolgirl dresses and the same guitar and the same bleach blonde hair. And Kat was telling us there's this girl, she's around town, she's dressing like me and playing guitar, and it's creepy as fuck. It's that's really interesting. So we did these long tours with Babes in Toyland and stuff, and then that band kind of dissolved and broke up. And then by that time, I believe Twin Tone had kind of picked up Mickey and Aaron, and they were doing God, Ween, Satan, which was pretty much already done. I think they kind of just gave it to them as the first record. And when Skunk had broken up, I was in my 20s, and knowing those guys and kind of not much else to do or go or, focus on, just being an aimless 20-something-year-old dude, I kind of ended up on their couch at the Pod for a month, just to hang out, because I loved hanging out with them, and they were fun and shit. And New Hope was a really beautiful area down by the river. So I ended up at the Pod on their couch, just hanging out with nowhere to go, nothing to do, having ended this band Skunk. And they had put out God Lead Satan, and so that's kind of the story of how those guys got picked up. Twin Tones, we kind of had them open up for us. And then by the time I was kind of crashing on the couch, they were doing the Pod record, and they were just a lot of fun, and it was really awesome. And Kramer from Shimmy Disc put that out, and Kramer, the bass player.
There you have it, from Claude himself. He talks more about that. He talks more about his time with Ween and Golden Country Greats in particular. He also talks about working with Angelo Moore of Fishbone, and he talks a little bit about his latest solo album from Amandla. So that's all the kind of stuff that you will hear from Claude on Patreon. So we have a new episode coming out to you next week on our regular podcast, but in the meantime, check us out on Patreon, and hope to see you there. Later.